Okay, cool. So we're just going to start off with a really quick mobilization. So if you just want to get up on your feet, and we're just going to start kind of walking through the feet, and we're just going to start moving the wrists around, and then just take that into the elbows, just kind of treading through your feet a little bit. Take the elbows the other way around. Nice, and then just take it into the shoulders, rolling backwards, and then rolling forwards. Nice, and just kind of take that into a bit of a swing of your arms if you've got the space. Make sure you don't hit anything. And then backwards. Nice, great, and then just feet further apart, just really small kind of twists of the spine. Nice and soft in the knees still. Great, and then we're just going to come and just roll the head around a little bit, really nice and gently, nice and slow. Just going to look over one shoulder, and then the other, and then back over the other shoulder, and then the other. Nice, then just look up at the ceiling, keep your jaw really nice and relaxed. And then down at the floor. Nice, great. We're just going to go back into that kind of slow, like pacing through, just keeping it on the spot. And we're slowly going to build that up more into a run, so bringing the knees up higher. You want to try and get the arms involved as well. And then we're just going to kind of sprint on the spot for about 20 seconds. So 3, 2, 1, go. As fast as you can. Keep going. Nice, then back to this normal jog. Great, now we're just going to pick the knees up. Really kind of work on getting a bit of bounce, kind of push through your feet. Make sure you absorb all the shock. Great, and then kick your bum. Great, and now we're going to sprint on the spot again for about 20 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. Try and use your arms as well. Even faster. Great, nice. Okay, cool. So if you just want to come back to standing, and just make sure that you're not kind of all hunched up in your shoulders. Feet just slightly hip width apart. Just relax. And then we're going to slowly roll down our spine, starting with our head. Just keep soft in the knees, one vertebrae at a time. And we're just going to kind of come to this hanging position, no tension in the body, nice and relaxed. And just draw little semicircles on the floor. Great, and now just kind of staying in this position, we're just going to slowly walk onto our hands to come to our front support. Make sure you're engaged in your shoulders. And then we're going to walk back to this position again, back onto our feet, and then nice and slowly, you're going to roll back up through the spine, head coming up last. Nice, cool. We're going to just do that one more time. So start, just shake all that off, kind of open your chest, and we're just going to roll through, head down, shoulders, slowly through. Spine, nice and soft knees. Until our hands are on the floor. Just push them along the floor in a bit of a kind of a circular motion. We're going to walk forwards onto our hands again. Into our front support, making sure our hands are over, our shoulders are over our hands. Nice, great. Everyone still hear me okay and everything? Cool. Fab. So if you just want to come onto your hands and knees into your kind of, into your box position. Make sure you can all see. I'm going to put myself on a big screen so I can actually see you all. There we go. Sorry if that attacked anyone's ears. So we're just going to slowly kind of pad through the hands. So we're just going to kind of warm our wrists up now. And just start with a little bit more force now, just kind of flicking through them, walking them around in a bit of a circular motion. Be a bit more gentle when your fingers are towards your knees. Brilliant. And then bringing them back to heel of your hand to your knee, fingers facing forwards. Just going to do some small circles one way. And then the other way. Fingers facing out. And we'll do some circles again. And then the other way. Nice, and then just really nice and gentle. Put your fingers towards your knees and you're just going to pull back. Don't go too far. Just really start to stretch the forearms nice and gently. And then you're going to do the same, but with your palms facing upwards, so your bottom of your hands are on the floor. Nice, great. Just shake that off. And what we're going to do, we're just going to do 5 kind of, I don't know what these exercises are called, but you're going to have your thumb underneath your hand and then one of your fingers there, and you're just going to push backwards and forwards. But I'm putting quite a lot of pressure on the wrist, so I'm kind of just waking up those tiny little muscles in there. And we'll do the other wrist as well. Great, now just to finish that off, we're going to do some kind of finger press-ups. I call them in box. So we're just going to do a lift to where our knuckles are and down. We're going to do 10 of those, and then we're going to do 10 where it comes to our knuckles, and then up to our fingers, down to our knuckles, and then flat. Everyone understand? Cool, I'll count us. So just for the knuckles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then all the way to the fingers. Put more weight, you can come really on top of your hands. If it's a bit much, back off a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great, nice. So just before we kind of get into getting upside down, I've got a little conditioning exercise that we're going to do. And it's kind of a version of 7 minutes in heaven. I don't know if any of you know that, but we won't do the full 7 minutes. We're going to do a 30-second version of it. So it's going to be 30 seconds front support, 30 seconds on your elbows, 30 seconds on your side, keeping the hips up. The other side, 30 seconds back support, 30 seconds in a dish, then 30 seconds in an arch. But just to make it a little bit harder, so you can either do that version, but if you want to kind of push yourself a bit more, get your muscles going more, you're going to do an activity on every 10 seconds of the exercise. So 10, 20, and 30. So it'll be push-ups for the front support, tricep dips to back support. I'll just talk side dips. For the dish, it'll be a V-sit, and for the arch, we're just going to do arch rocks. Okay, everyone understand? Fantastic. All right, I'll get my timer from my phone. Ooh, okay, come all the way back here so you can all see me. 3, 2, 1, go, and into front support. When we do this press up, go for elbows in and press up. Try and keep your back flat. And press up. Really try and engage your core. So this is just a way for us to kind of warm up all those handstand muscles. And press up. Great, and now we're going to go onto our elbows. Try and make sure our shoulders are over our hands, our shoulders are over our elbows. And on the 10 seconds, like now, just going to rock forwards and back. So your elbows will go to your fingers. And forwards and back. Don't forget to kind of engage your core still. And forwards and back. Great, and now we're going to come into our kind of side hold. If this is a bit much on your wrist, go onto your elbows. Great, and dip and up. Really push through the supporting arm and dip and up. And dip and change sides. Again, if your wrist is hurting a bit, come onto your elbow, but really push through this arm and dip and up. And dip and up. And dip and up. And we're going to go into our back support now. And dip. Try and do it in your arms and not your hips, so you're keeping this kind of flat, straight line from your toes to your shoulders. And dip. Whew. And dip. Great, now we're going to come into the arch hold. So if you can, hands above your head. But if this is fine, just make sure you're pulling in through your abs. And V-sit, tuck, or V-sit, sorry. Whatever feels best for you. And V-sit. Still pull through your abs. And V-sit. Great, and you're going to roll onto your stomach to arch to finish. And we're going to do little swims. Great. Nice, well done everyone. Grab some water if you want. People feeling warm? Fab. So we're going to do some headstands. We're not going to do loads today, but I've got a little exercise that I want us to do that is just to start to really think about keeping the ribs isolated to the rest of the body when we do handstands, especially when we start doing shapes and movements and presses. That kind of my lesson plan is mainly built upon this idea of trying to keep hands, shoulders, hips, no matter what the legs are doing. So when we're jumping through, we build that, then the legs come up. So if you want to warm your necks up, and I'll just explain a little bit about how to do a headstand, just for those people that don't feel particularly comfortable, but think about just moving your head around, but be nice and gentle. And I'll just talk through what we need to do in a headstand. Sorry, I'm out of breath. So headstand is all about getting a good, strong foundation. So in a headstand, make sure you're sharing the weight between your palms and your head. We don't headstand on the top of our head, it comes onto our forehead. I personally like more weight in my hands than on my head. I'm not very often fully straight in a headstand. I'm a little bit off tilt. Some people disagree, argue with that, but again, I like to have more weight in my hands. If you want to do this with a wall behind your back, so that if you do feel like you're going to kick over, that's fine. If you're also a little bit uncomfortable, don't come up into a straight, just come into a tuck shape. So you're a smaller shape and you're less likely to fall over. So we're going to do 2 sets of headstand exercises. if headstands are completely new to you, just try jumping into a headstand or lifting into a headstand into a tuck shape. That's great. Just try that 2 times and kind of get used to that. That's still really good progress. So for everyone, what we're first going to do, you can either do that exercise or you're just going to go up into your headstand, into a straight shape, just warm up those muscles, and then we'll do the exercise that I've been talking about where we move our legs. Okay, cool. So if you want to do that for 30 seconds, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to watch, and I'll give you a timer. 3, 2, 1, go. If you feel like you need to come down before the 30 seconds, do. This is absolutely, you know, what is right for your body. So those of you that are in your headstand and in your straight headstands, make sure you're not arching. Try and suck your ribs in. So think about slightly dished, if anything, in a headstand. It is almost it's a slightly different shape to a handstand. And nice, come down. Well done, everyone. Great. So two things I just want to say. So with our hands, if you bring them a little bit further down, you'll get more like a perfect triangle shape, and that'll be a lot better for your head. You'll support the weight, it'll spread the weight out more. So some of you that are a bit here and are finding it hard to balance, again, just bring your arms a little bit kind of further away from your head to create this triangle shape. The other thing is some people are a little bit arched, so just imagine someone's poking you in the stomach to pull that in. Great. So you can either just try that again if that felt like that was challenging, and just think about those 2 tips that I just said, or the next exercise is to try 5 of these. So you're going to come into your headstand, and then you're going to try and straddle your legs up to straight, and then you're going to lower down as much as possible into your pike, open them, straighten them again, and we'll do that 5 times. The reason what I'm focusing on this exercise is that my back and my hips should pretty much not change at all. So I kind of prep myself in my headstand to here. My bum is already up in the air and it doesn't move. It's only my legs working in isolation. Does that make sense? Wonderful. So I'll put the 30-second timer on for those people that just want to do the 30 seconds. And again, think about engaging the abs, and then try 5 of those if you want to try those. Off you go. 3, 2, 1, go. So the challenge when you go from your straddle up to your straight is to not arch that back. You still want to be engaged in your stomach. Fantastic, and that's 30 seconds. If you want to stop, I've just left my water in the room next door. So just stretch your neck out for 30 seconds because we're going to move on from headstand. So just think about lengthening the neck, and I'll just go and grab my water. Sorry about that. Okay, great. So just before we start going onto our hands properly, I've got a couple of exercises that are all about this engaging of the ribs that I've been talking about. So if you all just want to stand up really quickly and just try this exercise a couple of times. I'm just going to put myself on a different setting so I can see what I'm doing. So I want you all to stand and arch, hands are overhead as much as possible, looking at your arms. Notice I'm sticking my stomach out, and then what I want you to do is try and pull your stomach back in, but keeping your arms where they are. So it's an exercise, you go arch, and you're trying to push your arms back. So this is about opening up the shoulders, but without arching. So just try that a couple more times. If I'll do it one more time, so if you don't understand, you can watch me. So you arch your back, look at your hands, and then you tuck your pelvis under, engage your stomach, and push your shoulders back. Cool. Nice. Just a little thing for you to think about to start activating those muscles. Does that make sense to everyone? The other one is just to come up against the wall, and you arch as much as you can, so your shoulders are on the wall, your bum is on the wall, but your back isn't. And then you're just going to pull your stomach in so that everything is flat against the wall. And then you can arch again, and then you're just going to pull your stomach in and try and press everything flat against the wall. And just try that a few times. These are just little kind of exercises to increase your awareness of what your body needs to do when it's upside down. Great, fab. So we've got one more exercise and then we're going to get onto our hands. So what we're going to do is we're just going to practice the perfect handstand shape on the floor. It's kind of so important to do this exercise. I think it's one of the most important things you could do other than actually doing handstands. I almost think it's more important at the beginning to do this a lot than, just make sure you can all see me. So I'm lying on my stomach. I'm totally relaxed at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tense my body. I'm going to flex my hands and push through my shoulders. I'm going to squeeze everything, and then I'm going to try and get my belly button off the floor, but still pushing everything else down. So this is off the floor. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold this position for 15 seconds, and then we're going to try and do 10 shoulder raises, kind of lifting the arms off the floor, but without trying to break the shape. So I'm still squeezing my bum and taking my stomach off the floor. So this is all about tucking the pelvis in when we're doing that. So we're going to do that one time, and then we're just going to roll onto our back, hands above the head, and we're going to try and make sure our back is flat on the floor. We're going to lift our legs up, still making sure that everything is flat on the floor, arms to back, and we're just going to take 10 seconds, take our feet towards the floor, and you have to try and not arch your back. Cool. Everyone understand? All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1, and push. So really push through your shoulders if you can. And there should be a little gap. If you're doing it correctly, it should feel a bit uncomfortable. Try and get your feet together, squeeze everything. Now this is the hard challenge. Look at your your middle knuckle and try and do 10 little lifts with your shoulders. 1, 2, with your arms, and try and keep your head on the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, nice, well done everyone. Cool, if we roll over onto our back now, and try and get your back as flat on the floor as you can. Think about sucking your abs from the bottom up towards your chest, legs up at a 90-degree angle, arms above head if you can. Don't worry if you can't, but ideally. Great, and then try and, with straight legs, lower your legs, your feet towards the floor, keeping that engagement. 10, 9, 8, 7, don't let the ribs come off. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice, well done, and relax. Good, so those are some exercises that I think are really good you can practice on your own at any time, just to really work the engagement in your abs. Fab, so now we're going to go onto the wall, and we're going to do some inversions. So before we go for a full handstand, we're going to look at an exercise which is essentially, it's a pike upside down. If you want to have your legs on a sofa or a chair instead of the wall, it supports you a little bit more if the wall feels a little bit intimidating at the moment. But this is what the exercise looks like. So I sit in a pike on the floor, and I try and imagine that my hands are going to go where my feet were, okay? So I'm going to come onto my feet, my hands go where my feet were, shoulder width apart, and I'm going to walk my feet up the wall. I'm going to go into a pike, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my shoulders towards the wall. And I'm going to do 20 little bounces towards the wall. So up the right way up, this exercise looks like this. So I'm engaged here, and then I'm doing this or that, looking at my hands. It feels a bit nasty, but it's a really good kind of exercise to condition you and work on active shoulder flexibility. So give that a go. Try, if you're struggling with the pike, just bend your legs a little bit. What is more important to have your shoulders over your hands and your hips over your shoulders. Does anyone not understand that? That's kind of the most complex exercise I've given. And I can show it side on if you want me to.
Could you please show it on the wall again?
Yeah, of course. What I'll do is I'll show it on my ugly sofa once as well, just so you can kind of understand. So I'm here and I'm just pushing my shoulders, and I'm trying to open my shoulders. Okay? If the pulses feel a bit difficult, that's okay. Just concentrate on holding that shape. Does that make sense if you know how I wanna? Cool. Nice. Off you go in your own time. This is quite a tricky exercise. And it also doesn't feel nice. Nice work, everyone. Come down, have a rest when you're ready. And if you just want to sit in a bit of a pike fold, I always feel like I want to stretch my back after that a little bit. It's a nasty one. It really is nasty. It really kind of opens you up. So really make sure, we're going to do it one more time. Try and push through the shoulders. Some of you are a little bit wide in your hands. Don't worry, but if you can, try and pull them in so everything, again, is stacked on top of each other. So just try that one more time, and I really want you to think about pushing through every muscle that's connected to the floor. So push through the shoulders, through the lats, and then open. If the pulses feel weird, just try and just really open the shoulders without having to do that kind of stretchy thing.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
I feel like slightly in my lower back. Is that,
yeah, I do as well.
Is that okay?
I think that's just where I'm a bit inflexible. Okay. So if you want, just try and bend the legs a little bit to take some of that pressure off.
As long as it's not that I'm putting the effort in the wrong place.
This is always what I've got from this exercise, and I've been taught this a lot, and it just feels a bit backy, which is why I suggest doing the back stretch afterwards.
Okay. Yeah,
which is what we did. Cool. But yeah, if you want, bend the legs a little bit just to take some of that pressure off. It's nasty. This is amazing watching Branwen because she's doing it against nothing in Hawaii. Nice, but yeah, feel free to do a little bit of a back stretch if you want after this, just to kind of, just to stretch those muscles out. Well done though, that's really good. Okay, I'll just wait for everyone else to finish. Cool, nice. I'm actually on time with my lesson plan as well. This is amazing. This never happens. Cool. Are we all done? Great. Yeah. So just feel, if you mobilize, stretch. A lot of these exercises are quite intense. So we're going to do 3 exercises. I'll show you all 3 of them. If the first one feels challenging, and that's what you want to work on, do the first, and then the next time you do it, if you want, you can do the second, and then the third time you do it, you'll do the third exercise. But stick with whichever one feels right for you. So if you think that first one or that second one is challenging and that's nice, just stick with that, and we'll add on a layer if you want to. So that's just the choice. So what you're going to do is you're going to come to, just come back to speaker view. Cool. So we're going to come to here with our hands and our knees in line, and you're going to do 5 pushes through the legs. And the idea is my shoulders are above my wrists all time. As I push through the legs, I look at my hands and I come down. So it's about getting my hips up as high as they can. Okay, And you're just going to do that 5 times. So off you go. And I really want you to think about pushing through the shoulders again as we do this. Make sure the head isn't tucking completely underneath. It's kind of sort of, it's not sticking out. It's not tucked under. It's in an in-between place. Nice. And just do 5 of those. If you're finding those easy, bring your knees a bit further in so we are working on compressing into your pike a bit more of a challenge. So the next exercise, either do this one again and really concentrate on pushing through the shoulders. And then this is kind of working on our jump to handstand. But don't actually worry if it's not about going all the way to handstand without any support. It's just kind of an exercise to help. So we start in the same way, but I put a little bit more lift through my legs, and I'm just going to come to here and tuck. Notice that I'm not bringing my legs over on top of myself yet for this exercise, unless you want to. So there's this here, and I'm keeping my knees to my chest. That's what's most important about this. So it's not about pushing out that way. So we jump up, knees in. Those of you that are quite competent at handstands and want to make this harder, you come in, try and come on top, stay in your tuck, and down. So don't try and go to straight. Okay, off you go. For those of you that aren't confident going all the way to handstand, only take your legs off to the amount that feels nice. But this is a great way for you to kind of start working on the jumping and the pressing muscles. Nice. Some of you have got quite bent arms. I really want you to push through the arms as much as possible. It's nice to see that your shoulders are are quite narrow, most of you, which is good. Nice. So just try for you, don't knock yourself out. So we've got some more to do. So just a few of you, when you're doing your jump, you're allowing your shoulders to come too far over your hands. So just try and be wary of that, because that is a recipe for face planting. So just go back to that previous exercise. Think about stacking shoulders over hands. So this line here doesn't change. Here doesn't change. Okay. So we're going to do that one more. You choose which of the exercises we've just done that you want to do. Or for those of you that want the challenge, you can do your tuck up, your straight handstand through the tuck, and then straddle down. So just for those of you that do handstands quite often, it's the same. Handstand, straddle down. And that's the reason I really like this exercise, is because it's about avoiding arching, because when you kind of do it off your knees instead of your feet through the tuck, it's really common to kind of go arch, and we want to avoid that and keep this shape here, lower the straddle down. So you've got a couple of different exercises all kind of coming from the same one there. Pick the one that you want to do, give it another 5 goes. Everyone understand? If there's any questions, just go.
So, sorry, Trystan, I wasn't paying attention enough. Did you go up through tuck, up to straight, and then back down through straddle?
Yeah, and it's all about trying to not come over your shoulders.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. Some of you that are trying the first exercise and the second one, just try and bring your knees a bit closer to your hands, because some of you are starting with your kind of arms out here, and you want to start with the shoulders over the hands. It's tricky, don't worry. Nice, well done, cool. Have a rest, everyone. They're pretty savage. But that's a really nice kind of safe way to start learning to kick up or jump up to handstand without having a spotter there. I've met some of you using a wall behind you. That's a good idea. But I think it's a really good thing with jump ups. Just, you can start training them and just undercook them. And it's much better to come slightly dished at the moment than it is to arch and fall over the other way. And it's really, all of these steps are a really nice way to get you feel confident to come back to your feet. So yeah, that's a really good exercise. Great, we're gonna go and do some handstands against the wall. I don't know, all of you, so if some of you are happy to handstand off the wall free, you can, but try and only do that if you're happy to hold a 30-second handstand, because we're just gonna try and look at endurance. If 30 seconds feels like a lot, just do 10, do 15, do what feels good for you. I'm a bit mean when it comes to handstands against the wall, but I'd rather you try and do it with your stomach against the wall as opposed to your back. The way that you get into that, you all just did it when you did your pike. So again, you kind of want to get your hands kind of here and you walk your feet up and then you walk your hands in. Obviously, if that is something that seems a bit scary, that's fine. Just do the version that you like the most. But if you can, go stomach against the wall. I will set a timer, just things to think about. Try and make sure your hands are shoulder width apart and they're not too wide. The arms aren't bent. The reason I like to do it stomach against the wall is because you can dish very slightly, or think about that exercise we did on the floor should look exactly the same. So just your toes are touching, okay? But if you're feeling like you're going to fall over, just walk your hands out a little bit more and you can have a bit more weight on your feet. That's how you make it safe. Cool, I'll give everyone 5 seconds to get in and I'll start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, don't feel like you have to do the 30 seconds if you don't want to. So really try and make sure again that your shoulders are over your hands and you're pushing. Try not to arch your back. This is the kind of the problem with this exercise, is people kind of put their stomach into the wall. So really, if you need to do anything, try and pike. It's much better to pike than it is to arch, in my opinion, mainly for safety when you don't have spotters. Nice, and that's 30 seconds, so come down. Nice, good. So that looked really nice. So some of you, if you felt like your stomach was against the wall, just don't worry too much about the straight handstand. You know, have your hands a bit further away. Make sure your hands and your shoulders and your hips are on top of each other, and then you can just pike a little. So it should look more like this against the wall, which is great. We're mainly looking on the alignment between the hips and the shoulders and the hands. So if this is slightly like this, that's fine. Everyone understand what I meant by that? Fab, cool. So we're going to do it again. If you're feeling yourself getting tired, keep pushing, engage even more. So you can either just try your handstand again, thinking about those tips, or I've got another exercise for you to try. So it requires being a little bit further away from the wall with your hands, and you're going to try and come into a bit more of a pike, and then you have one leg straight. I know it's a bit weird on this angle, so you probably can't quite see. What I'm doing is I'm just swapping my legs, and I'm trying not to change the angle of my handstand. So hands, shoulders, hips are still the same line, and my legs are just doing this. That's really weird to do with my hands. Does that make sense? Cool. So try either of those. The first exercise, which is just a handstand, working on the kind of the basic shapes. Off you go, and I'll give you a 30-second timer. Again, don't push yourself too hard if the 30 seconds feels like a lot. It is. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice. So the challenge of the leg exercise is not to arch. Try and still push through, in your stomach. Nice. And that's 30 seconds, so come down. Great. Yeah, the handstand exercise against the wall in the pike is just a really great way to build up shoulder strength endurance. Kind of worrying too much about line, although I'm going into a lot of detail now because I think it's good to give the information out. You just need the strength before you can really do a lot of this stuff. So just working on that is great. So we're going to do one more time. Feel free to give your wrists a little bit of a stretch. If you want, give your forearms a bit of a massage. Whatever feels good for you whilst I explain the third version of this exercise. And like I said, you can either just do the first and the second again and practice that. So this is an extension of the second exercise where you swap your legs, but instead of bringing the foot kind of back to the wall, you're just going to scissor kind of kick them and alternate. So without changing your line. So I'm here in my straight with one foot on the wall, and then I'm just swapping backwards and forwards. So this is a bit more advanced. So only give this one a go if you're kind of comfortable holding a handstand on your own. But it's a really nice one. I struggle with it a little bit. As the second leg comes back, I tend to arch. So it should look like this. But the idea is the line here shouldn't change. So it's kind of doing this. Does that make sense to those that want to try that exercise? Great, nice. So I'm barely touching the wall on that exercise. I'm just kind of skimming. Cool, I'll give you another 5 seconds to get into your handstand. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice. We've done quite a lot now. So again, if you're tired and you need to come down, that's fine. But if you're still going to fight, keep strong, push through your lats and your shoulders. Nice, and that's 30 seconds there. Well done, everyone. Great, so I've just got 2 or 3 conditioning exercises that are really quick, not handstand based. Well, unless you want them to be, as in we're not going to invert, and then we're just going to do a really quick shoulder stretch before we finish. We might go a couple of minutes over. That's okay. If you do need to leave, that's fine. So 4 exercises, 20 shoulder shrugs. So you either do this in a handstand, stomach against the wall, or if you're going, oh my days, I'm exhausted, do them in front support and just think about pushing through like this. So you're going to do 20 of those. Should we do all those together? Great. So either go to the wall or into your press up position. What have I done? 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Nice. We're going to go straight on to the next exercise. So you can either do this with your feet on the floor, or if you have a handy sofa, take your feet up, and then we're going to do 10 dips. So but trying to do them in the arms. So 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. A couple of ab exercises just to kind of finish this off. So we're going to, if you want, so we're going to do a V-sit, tuck, knee, knee. We're just going to do that sequence 3 times. I'll talk us through it. So 3, 2, 1, go. V-sit, tuck, one knee, the other knee. V-sit, tuck, one knee, the other knee. V-sit, tuck, one knee, the other knee. Great. Here's the next exercise. We're going to come into a downward dog. And we're just going to try 5 to 10 of these. I'll count 10, but this is a bit of a weird one, so don't push yourself if it feels a bit nasty. So you're going to come into a downward dog, and you're just going to drop onto your elbows and up, okay? If that feels a bit much on your hamstrings and your back, just bend your legs a bit, okay? So 5 to 10. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. Last conditioning exercise, you're going to come into a crab, which is this. Try and keep your hips up, and we're going to do 10 dips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. Nice. Hopefully everyone's feeling nice and tired now. I'm just going to give us a couple of shoulder stretching kind of exercises to finish off. Sorry, we're going a little bit over time, but I think it's important to stretch. So if you all just want to stand up, find your space on your wall, and you can either do it like this, kind of your body, your arm along it, or you go for your flat palm, whatever you prefer, and you're just kind of pull away from your arm. Try and have your hand horizontal with your shoulders. Nice, and then come back in. And then just walk your hand a little bit higher, probably just above head height, and then you're going to pull in. This just gets a bit of a different place on my pec for me, and pulls on my forearms quite nicely. Nice, and then turning back in, and we'll just go on to the other side. Great, so hand horizontal with the shoulder, just pull away. Great, and then just take that higher again. Oh, I find that one really nervy, but also really nice. Fantastic, great. So just want to come and just do this one as well, just to make sure we're pushing through here. Try and make sure your shoulders are down. And on to the other one. Here's a neck stretch I really like. So what you do is I'm taking my left arm behind my back, and then I'm grabbing onto it with my right. And then I'm taking my right ear to my right shoulder and elbow, and just kind of feeling the stretch along my left. And then relax, and then swap over. So right arm behind, left hand grabs it, and then we take left ear to our left side. Nice, and then we're just going to grab our kind of back of our head. I put my thumb slightly underneath my jaw. I'm just going to lengthen my head and then tilt it down. So I'm not just compressing it, I'm trying to kind of elongate my neck and my spine at the top. Fantastic. If you want to come onto your hands and knees, and just into your box, just go for your kind of sad cat. Just twist through the spine a little bit. And then we're going to walk our hands forwards, taking our feet over back towards our bum, onto our fingertips. Look at your hands and then just push your shoulders down to the floor. Really thinking about lengthening your whole upper body. So it sort of stretches your back a little bit as well. Nice, and then back to our box. And then we're going to go forward to the hands again, but this time I'm taking my palms forwards, and I'm working on an external rotation here, which is what we do in a handstand. And I'm kind of pushing my shoulders to the floor again, and it just gets a slightly different place. Nice, and then just finally coming back to our box, just give your wrist a bit of a stretch. Just kind of walk them through. This one for me is the one that always gets me. But again, be nice and gentle. This is quite a delicate stretch. Don't just yank really hard. And then just to soften our forearms, because they might be quite pumped, just really nice and gently, make sure your taking a lot of weight on your hand and your knee, use the other knee just to gently massage your forearm. Be quite careful when you go closer to your hand joint. So you mainly want to get that big kind of fatty part of the forearm. You might feel your hand kind of open and close involuntarily, which is a bit weird, but that is normal, don't worry. Nice, and then onto the other forearm. Great. I'm going to leave that there, but if you, I would advise if you want to do some more stretching, we've used quite a lot of back stuff, so do some back stretching stuff in your own time. Yeah, do more shoulder. I don't want to go too far over time, but do some more stretching. And I hope that was really helpful. Thanks everyone. I had a lot of fun.